Hello everyone, True Zero Emissions here. I'm just looking at this rear view camera placement. Now the camera is really stable here, it's very good. One thing I haven't figured out yet is where does that fold down mechanism clamp onto? I have not figured that out. Because I don't see anything here. Like, am I looking right at it? Because this doesn't move, this is just the rubber. Maybe I need to watch a video on someone folding it. I have no plans to fold that though. I love how stable it is. I'm just gonna leave it like that. And I'm gonna get a trailer that goes on the back of the car. And that's how I'll move the scooter around. I don't wanna lift this and put it in the car. I didn't buy this to lift it. I bought it to ride it. And I like this scooter. I wouldn't want it lighter than it is. I like the weight of it. And I want a bigger battery. I'm happy with the battery, but I want bigger, twice as big. 70 amp hour. 35 amp hours is a good start though. And I want the controller to have 135 volts or 140 volt controller or higher. I'm looking at where to put this camera. It's good here, but I might be able to fit it in here, and it might give me a better view as well. Because right now, this bar is blocking some of the view. So if you can't see the lens, it can't see you. That's the way it works. You can see under there, though, between those two bars, right? A little bit right there. But still, why not put it here where it just has a clear view of everything? Now if I put it there, if I place it here, I'm thinking I would use the 3M industrial strength double-sided sticky tape, which you see here. I use that everywhere. It's on this right now. It's underneath. It's underneath this. It's underneath. It's between this metal bar of the scooter and this. And these are UV safe zip ties. The zip ties must be UV safe. Otherwise, they just become brittle in a very short time. So on the package, it has to say safe for UV, or, you know, I don't know how they word it, but it can be in some direct sunlight. Otherwise, they just become brittle in a short time. And we do not want that happening, especially when that's the main thing holding these on. I haven't had any trouble with these kind of zip ties. I get these at Harbor Freight, and I always read the package before I buy it. Before I buy any zip tie. There are a lot of zip ties that are not safe for the UV, for ultraviolet. Ultraviolet just makes it just turns this into a brittle plastic where it just crumbles in your hand. It's really amazing how it weakens it. It just can't handle that direct sunlight. But all this is UV tolerant, UV safe. So yeah, I'm thinking about moving it back here. And then when I lift the scooter, I can just lift it from the side, I guess. Right now I lift it from back here. That's why I moved the camera there. I also could just ride the scooter and see how it is, the way it is like that. But I know I like the maximum view. I could also move it here. I could also leave it here and raise it up like ½ an inch. So I'm thinking about that as well. I do also place the adhesive between this camera and the base as well. I just took the piece out because I'm adjusting this right now. I'm moving this. Right now I adjusted this up because it's a wide angle, and I wanted to see if it would help us to see over this bar, which it did a little bit, right? Because it's still a wide angle lens. It still sees down here. We can actually look right now. Let's see. So there's the bar right there, and I move the seat there, so you can see that it's just seeing almost to the bottom of the seat, right? Almost to the bottom. So that means at this angle, right? At this angle, it seems like it's seeing slightly downward, right? Not just straight out, but a little bit down. But it is missing some of the area down there. I'm not sure if that's going to be necessary though until I rode the scooter. So just sharing like an update of my thoughts, or the thought process going into this. All this wire will be wrapped up and probably wrapped up and put in here. So far, this is what we have up here. We have a USB-C. This is a USB-C cable that goes into a USB-C port on the side here. And that's 5 volts at 3 amps. So here it just says USB, but it's a USB-C. That's the name of the plug. This is audio, video in right there. And that's the camera. That's the camera cable that goes to the back. As you can see here, that's the cable. Now, if I was going into a car, because this is actually made for a car, this would connect, if I understand correctly, this red wire, which I taped off because it was exposed, because they were making it easier for us to connect it, right? It was already exposed. But I cut the exposed part and then I wrapped it, just temporarily. This wire, though, right here, would go to the, if I understand correctly, that would go to the reverse light. It would go to the reverse light on the car. We don't have a reverse light on the scooter, and I don't think we need one. And we also don't have reverse on the scooter, which also I don't think is needed. Because on a scooter, you just kind of walk it backwards. If there was an option where you push a button or something for reverse and it moved like at half a mile an hour, I guess that could be convenient. That could be a convenient possibility at some point in time. It's not necessary though. I like the upgrades I'm seeing, like these plugs. I really like this. This was something that Cameron talked about a lot. If you watched videos, you've been watching our channel here, if you've been watching the channel, Cameron always talked about this plug because it used to be just metal bars sticking up, just like 3 metal bars sticking out. And if you hit that with something, they would arc together, and that would be an explosion. That's what spark is. Spark is an explosion. So like boom, it would blow the metal out. And that's what happens when you have a greater negative and a lesser negative, right? Because a battery, even though we call it positive and negative, it's just negative and more negative. That's the way all of our circuitry is here. That's what we're working with. That's how electricity is. I have some new notes on the charger. Now, I don't know if these are absolutely correct. I just was researching some notes, and I'm looking for a way to charge the scooter, to power the charger and charge the scooter from a very popular way that micromobility is charging their batteries when they're out on the road. You have to be very careful to not trespass by accident, meaning you don't want to be on a property somewhere that is closed and then trying to charge your scooter or micromobility, right? So, but charging stations, electric vehicle charging stations, are completely safe. I mean, safe in terms of legal. It's legal and allowed to charge. Hopefully they work. And if you ever see one not working, my recommendation is to make every phone call you can to make sure that gets fixed as soon as possible. And when everybody does that, when everybody makes those calls, it does get the charging stations fixed. I had done that before when I had an electric vehicle. I was making phone calls, and on many occasions, the person that hires the people to fix the electric vehicle charging stations, this is a few years ago, the person that hires the people to fix the EV charging stations, now listen to this, the money was there was a budget for this, for the stations to be fixed. The money was there. Okay, we'll just say the money was in the bank, right? It was there. There was a budget for it. So there was no lacking of money. But there was no person in the position that actually was hiring people to fix the charging stations. And there was many, many charging stations that were not working. Those are only fixed when enough people call and say, we need someone in that position. How can we help, who do you need me to call? Who needs to be called? Write letters, make phone calls. It's getting involved, right? So, electric vehicles are more popular than ever. We're talking about like a couple cents per mile to drive an electric vehicle versus, I think it's like 15 cents per mile to drive a gas car. And that's just for the fuel. That doesn't include the maintenance. So on EV vehicles, that 1 to 2 cents per mile includes all the maintenance you'll ever need, which is like any battery work that's needed, all that. Includes all that. With the gas car, if you include the maintenance cost, like the oil changes and the tune-ups and just all the things that need to be done, it's much more than 15 cents per mile. and I will have to calculate that someday. I know it's already been done many times, but I can do a calculation as well. This probably cost it's probably a penny every like 100 miles probably. It's going to be really incredible, the efficiency of it. It's going to be many miles for every penny. The penny will really get you far with a vehicle like this, an electric vehicle like this. Micro mobility. So we can charge. There's a lot of people connecting their chargers to the I think it's called a J1772 adapter that will allow a plug to go into that J1772, which is a level 2 charger, into this kind of charger, right? Whatever charger you have, but I'm using this kind of charger here. It's a Roger charger. And if I understand, now those plugs are going to be 220. I don't know if they're 220 or 240, but I read that this is an auto sensing, so it'll sense it automatically. I didn't see a switch anywhere where I can switch between 110 and 220 or 120 and 240. I didn't see that. I read that it's auto sensing though, but please confirm that before you plug any high voltage into that. And I'm going to confirm too. I'm going to find out as soon as I can as well. Just confirm it. But if that's true, if that's the case, if this charger can handle, if it can auto sense whether I'm plugging into 110, 120, or a J1772, I think is the numbers, level 2 charging station, which is like Whole Foods Market where they have the free chargers there, or they used to be. I think they still are. What pays for those, by the way, is the advertising on the charging station. That's what I was told. The advertising pays for the maintenance and the electricity of those. If I understand correctly, you can confirm that for yourself though. So if we plug into that, and then we can charge the scooter, and I'll be able to charge at 10 amps, which is this scooter's rated to be able to charge in the book, to be able to charge at 10 amps at 84 volts. So this charger can easily handle that. This can go up to 15 amps, so it can easily do 10 amps. When I charge this scooter at 10 amps at 84 volts, which I actually had it set to 85 volts, that's just how I set it. But please confirm for yourself the correct voltage for yours, what you're charging. So this is the 84 volt battery fully charged. This was at 85 volts when it was set on the dial, because this is manually set voltage and amperage, right? So when I was charging it, the wires never got warm. These wires, look at these wires. These are not big wires, right? These are little wires. Look at these. This is little wires. These little wires never even got warm. They just stayed room temperature. Okay. This is the new plug, the new safety plug. Very nice. So I was looking for plugs that I could buy so I can make this plug for the charger. And I was seeing something similar but not exact. So where was the exact plug? Well, the chargers that came with the scooter had the perfect plug, right? So I just cut those plugs. And these two 2 amp chargers, let's see if these are 2 amps. I think these are 2 amps, the output, 84 volts, 2 amps. So that's 4 amps with both of those, right? So I tried charging this at 4 amps, the same thing. And then I went to 5 amps, and then I went to 8 amps, and then I went to 10 amps. And it just was doing very well, stayed cool. This is a very, very good battery in this scooter. It's the best I've seen in a scooter. What I mean is, when I plug it in, even to these chargers, the charge was increasing so fast. You can have 2 different batteries. Like, let's say we have 2 different scooters. One scooter has a really good battery, like this one. This has an LG battery in it. It's listed on it. I think they come with LG, and they may come with Samsung. I know the Wolf King GT Pros were said to come with LG or Samsung, which are both supposed to be very good batteries. This LG battery, which I'm super happy with, when I had these 2 chargers plugged into it when the battery was at 0%, right? 0%, I plugged it in. After it cooled, I let it cool off because I was running it, so it got warm. The battery got warm from running it really hard, right? I was running it at full speed, full power for hours. And then when I came home, I let it cool off for a little while. And then I went ahead and charged it, and the percentage went up so quick. And that's not just because the current is high, because 4 amps is not a lot, right? 2 amps and 2 amps, that's not a lot of current. But the battery just flowed in, right? I've had scooters where they were charging at the same current, the same amperage, and the same voltage. And even the same chargers. I've had the same chargers charge 2 different scooters, and one battery will charge faster than the other. So the very first Nami Bernie Viper, now I know they said some of them didn't come with the correct battery. There's a whole story on that. I don't really know. I just know that the battery that was in the Nami Viper that I had, it wouldn't charge quick and it would get warm. This thing I can charge with twice the power, 3 times the power, and it's not getting warm at all, and it charges really fast. So I can't say enough about the scooter. I say game changer. I say next level scooter. They put suspension on the back now, and they improved the suspension of the front, which everyone was asking to be able to adjust the front suspension. I'm just putting this. I mean, I got this thing looks all expensive and everything. This is $100 on Amazon. This is a Wolf box. Okay, this is a Wolf box, and it was $100 on Amazon on sale, but they're not much more than that regular price. They might be on $150 or maybe around $200. I don't know the exact pricing, but they have several different models too. This is, I think, the most basic model, if I understand correctly. I have the same thing in my car. I've been using it for a year. Works great. I said, I'm going to try it on the scooter. Cameron mentioned to me, he said, how's this going to work in the daytime? Cameron asked me that with the sun, right? I don't know yet. I might have to put a lens shade here. And I may have to put a polarized coating on this. I don't know if that'll make it better or worse. I may not even be able to see the screen if I do that, but I want to see. I want to see if I can get the glare down. I don't even know that there will be glare, but I think there may be a reflection. I'm not sure. But we'll see. But at nighttime, I think it's going to work great. And I do a lot of night riding, and I want to see what's behind me without looking behind me all the time and without using this little mirror here. Because this has a little mirror. That's a mirror right there. See? Hi, everyone. That's my rear view mirror right now. So we're upgrading to this. This is now my rear view mirror. See this? That's now my mirror. Look at all that. Like all this area. And this has, and now that's the main reason I bought it, was just to be able to see behind me. I didn't really need something that records, but it actually does have built-in 2 cameras, and it does record, and it loops. It just loops on a SD card. The card's right here. I don't know what size card's in there. It might be a 32 gigabyte that comes in it. And I think we can put, the book says we can go up to 128 gigabyte. And I don't know if we can go bigger than that. But it just loops through it, and if you need to save, if something happens that you want to save, you just press, see, so it's always recording. See, it's right there. I have it set to 3-minute intervals, so the clips are 3 minutes. And it just saves all those clips until the thing's full, and then it just kind of keeps going. So then if you want to lock it, watch this. I'm going to lock a frame, right? Let's say something happened. Press the screen, press lock. See it? Lock file successful. Now it just saved that. That's all you do, and it's saved. So if something happens right in front of you, or there's an accident, or someone, there's an accident, you have your own accident or something, if you run into somebody or someone runs into you, runs into me, I can just save the file so we know what happened. And that's it, simple as that. And you can also turn the recording off, so if you don't want to record, you just press this button right here. But it seems like it wants to always record, so I think it'll start recording again automatically after a few minutes. I think it'll do that. There may be a way to make it not record at all. There might be a way to permanently turn that off. I don't actually know, though. I figure just let it record. Why not, right? A lot of people use GoPros, and they loop it, and they use different kind of recording cameras to record their ride. But like I was saying, I'm not using it for that. I mean, it's kind of like it's there, so I'll use it. But I'm using this to see behind me. That's what I want. I want to be able to see behind me. That's what I'm using this for. So, okay, everyone. True Zero Emissions here, signing off. And like I was saying, looking forward to being able to plug into a charging station with this, because it won't cost a lot to charge this. I don't think it'll cost more than a few cents, unless there's a minimum, a minimum fee. But a lot of charging stations are free, like Whole Foods have free chargers, and I hope they get more. I think it would be great if Whole Foods just had a whole line of parking spots with charging. We really do need that there, because as much as we are grateful and love the free charging, there's always a line of people waiting for the chargers. So the good thing is, with something like this, it'll probably take, I think in like 10 minutes, I could put a significant amount of power in here if I'm charging at a pretty significant amount of power, like at 10 amps. I could if I just need to get home, I'm pretty sure I can make a significant percentage increase on the battery charging in 10 minutes, right, if I'm charging at 10 amps. But I'll make some calculations on that, and we'll make some videos on that as well. Okay, everyone, True Zero Emissions signing off. Until next time, see you soon.